have a tunnel vision or have a belief in the system where I don't believe it. I try to keep open-minded and look at all the facts or evidence.
Okay.
Well, I have a story of a friend of mine who I just happened to talk with, who originally was experiencing the Bigfoot at the same time I did, that was jumping across the tree. But he had an experience early on where he was down near Western State Hospital, as you know, in Stillicum. And across from there, there's the old cemetery where it used to be. And he caught sight of something flying down. It was a humanoid that was swooping down upon them, and they were running like you know what across the cemetery. And the police came, and it was just more of a story about that. But he actually had that experience. And as he was telling the story, I try to gauge how the person is reacting when they're telling the story, because you can tell when someone's just, they're just shooting me a line, you know. But his expression, his eyes, his manner indicated that, his body language indicated that he was telling the absolute truth about what he saw. And this thing swooped down and kind of got close to him, but didn't quite get him. Took off again. So I'm going to interview this guy someday soon, hopefully, because I want to get more details about this story, because it's fascinating.
It sounds like it. I mean, I'm just wondering where they're coming from. Another dimension and coming here. But, you know, again, like Joe Taylor, you know, twice one of his friends encountered a Mothman and physically hit one time a Mothman and did damage to the vehicle. People are saying that they see Mothman. I get reports all the time from truckers. They may be doing a long haul out, you know, at night, and they'll see either a Mothman type creature fly by or be out on the side of the road. And it's scary because you hear these reports and it's all over the country. It's not located in the South or the Midwest. It's all over, from Washington State, Texas, you name it. These reports are coming in. And I believe me, I do get a lot of reports from truckers on these creepy, weird, you know, creatures of all these kinds.
That could explain some of the reports where there's no evidence of someone walking and all of a sudden there's no footsteps anymore, especially if it's a small child, because I can just see a Mothman swooping down and like a hawk would and pick up its prey and take you off somewhere, because it would look like you just walked to a certain point and took off. So we always attribute that to some other weird thing like portals and stuff like that. But if the Mothman has got a penchant for human blood or you know, or eating humans, then I could see that being a possibility.
It is. I mean, this lady that Joe talked about described the Mothman a little bit over 6 feet tall. And when she hit it, it just stood there in front of her in the road and glared at her. And then after a minute or two, because she didn't realize, she thought she hit a human. Till she noticed it wasn't human. You know, it was kind of really, you know, had wings and it was ugly looking and didn't have a human face. That's what I gathered. But then it kind of like flew away. And that would be eerie, let alone. But, I mean, I hear this with truckers, again, that they'll see him off the side of the road. They go past it, and they're just, like, watching. Or one trucker swore up and down to me that, you know, he was doing his, you know, long haul, and he had one come fly by and just stare at him out of his cab window and then took off. I would be, I'll tell you that, you're out, you know, maybe he's drinking too much caffeine during the night, but could you imagine you're out in the middle of nowhere late at night, you know, with a big truck and pulling a trailer and something like that happens to you? I think that would really shake you up. But I hear a lot of these weird things from truckers, a lot of them, because they're out on the road at night, you know, and they maybe see things that we don't see.
Imagine
I wouldn't get out of the truck anytime too soon after that. I'd wait about an hour before I even stepped out of the truck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of the trucks have a little bathroom in the back and a bed back there. So, hey, but I wouldn't even pull over. I just would put the pedal down the metal and get out of there. But
some distance between you.
Yeah, I know that the one guy at one point was thinking about coming on. Is still iffy about it. I'm trying to get him on. But what he described it that this like creature, like Jeeper Creepers, creature, that flew by and then kind of like kept up with him as it turned its head and stared at him. Could you imagine the fear you would have if something like that happened? Now, these guys are out, 5-6 days a week, 10 days a week, depending on, on the runs they make. Some of them, they're on the road all the time. The average person isn't out driving every night, for hours and hours and miles. So they're out in secluded areas sometimes. So if anybody's going to see any of these creatures, there they are.
Yeah, imagine seeing one of those 11 o'clock at night or midnight, and then you still got to drive wherever you're going, like the lady that hit one. Imagine that drive home from there. She had to be looking rear view mirror, looking up to make sure the thing doesn't land on her roof or something for revenge for hitting it.
Well, according to Joe, the second time around, okay, and I was going to have Joe on here again in about 3 weeks with our new format. What the story is that the lady ran into... Guess what? Because she lives out in a rural area out there in Texas, Blanco, whatever it is, Texas, farming community area, and claims that the second time she actually ran into this, creature that actually literally put scratches on the roof of her car.
Wow. How do you tell the insurance agent that one?
It'd be kind of hard to explain. Hey, I saw a Mothman or some creature. It was flying and it was chasing me, and it tried grabbing me through the roof of the car. Yeah, what have you been smoking, lady?
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
Well, at least that's physical evidence. Perhaps there might be some DNA off of this creature that might be rubbed on to the scratches, or if it got hit, for instance. There might be some part of it there.
Well, that's what I told Joe. I said, that if it happens again, tell the people to go to the local sheriff's department there and explain what they just encountered. I mean, if that would have been me and I hit a Mothman and put a dent in my fender, I would have been to the sheriff's department and have them swab it for DNA. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
They would have probably swabbed you for something to see what you was drinking. Just saying, Gary.
Well, that's the problem. Even if you did report it or something to the authorities, they don't take you seriously and won't come out with their equipment to take samples or anything like that. It says, yeah, that's fine. Well, you have a nice night, too, and it's just not taken seriously. That's why a lot of these reports just go through, they don't materialize.
Well, yeah, I mean, believe me, okay? If you went to law enforcement and said, hey, this happened, you know what they're going to think. Seriously.
Yeah.
They're not going to take you serious. I mean, they will take you more serious if you report a UFO. But if you sit there and say you saw a cryptic, okay, they're going to look at you, They're not even going to waste the time to actually go swab your fender. They're not going to do it. And I guess within what's going to happen in a small community like where this is at, the word is going to get around about you really fast. And, I mean, then you're going to be embarrassed to go grocery shopping or go anywhere because everybody's going to be talking about you.
Well, it's not only that, but think about it. Let's say the authorities did take it seriously. They might hold back because they don't want the repercussions on the community to live in gripped with fear over something like this. So sometimes from a political standpoint, it's best to dismiss the story and not panic the public.
Well, I think in most people, what they do is they don't report it. They hold it within. Now, I want to do a shout out to Closer Encounter Radio, Clarence. And again, Sam, what is your podcast, by the way?
Oh, it's greenwaternights.com. And that's with Nights with a Z. It's greenwaternights.com. Check it out. I have a few episodes that I've already produced so far. I'm working on the fifth one now.
Oh, see, it keeps you busy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And James, what do you got any paranormal investigations coming up, or are you kind of now more being a radio talk show host?
Yeah, I'm trying to phase out. I help a few people over the phone or something, but I'm trying to phase out of the hardcore stuff because it's just there's a lot of repercussions with it, and it just hangs with you. You know how it is. So yeah, I'd rather educate people and entertain them through the radio. So that's what I'm doing. I'm on this Night Dreams Talk Radio. You ever hear of it?
No, I never have. But you know one thing too, James, I can tell sometimes, when you've talked to me about it, off the air, that I can tell by your voice, sometimes the way you talk, that it really has disturbed you, like the last couple investigations you have done. I think it after a long period of time of doing these, I think it would wear you out.
It takes a toll on me, spiritually, mentally, and physically, I cannot even describe. And you put the totality of that together over years, and it's just enough's enough. I've seen it all, done it all, and I'm just about at my end of it because the fallout of it is so much. I've lost so much that yeah, I'm good. If I can educate people with it from what I've learned, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So what are you planning to do, Sam, here in the near future? Are you going to be going out and trying to get more pictures of little people and Bigfoot and any other cryptids you can find?
Yeah, you've probably seen some of the ones I just posted recently.
Those are probably...
I'm going to go back out tomorrow, and this new area seems like to be a hot spot, so I'm actually going to bring some of our equipment with me, and just there's certain things. When I walk through one area, the other thing is I go by my own senses, and my head was spinning when I walked through it because of the energy. So, yes, I'm going to be doing a way more research, but it's going to be more paranormal based in a lot of ways, though.
Well, I can tell you the last pictures you put up a few days ago, I could tell by the people who were responding. You could actually, to me, it looked like one of the pictures that I hate to say it, or maybe it's my bad eyesight. It looked like one of the little people had sunglasses on.
Yeah, somebody said it was RayBan. There were several people that said that, like they were wearing RayBan or whatever. I'm thinking it just had a super large brow that kind of looked like sunglasses. Some people said it looked like one of the members of ZZ Top, So, I mean, I've never had so many likes on a picture before in my life. I mean, everybody responded favorably to what was posted. But it was just very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just not pareidoia by any means whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I can tell you it's probably the best pictures you have ever put up of little people. I mean, you could actually see their face and make out everything. And that's what really was, I looked at that and I go, wow.
Oh, the one before I had that was in front of the stones on the beach. And the one with the old man face. I mean, every ridge on his face and the mouth and the nose and the eyes and the brow. I mean, you just cannot duplicate that just out of random nature. So I'm going to continue my research. I think I'm tapped into something. I am going to get even a better camera because I'm using a high-resolution 24-megapixel camera. I'm going to shoot for a 50-megapixel because I need as much detail. When I start zooming in on these pictures on the computer, I need to see every nuance of every little bit of information I can get when I zoom in on these little guys. Well, it's going to cost me a little bit of money, but I'm going to do it.
What type of lens do you use? What f-stop?
I can't remember at the moment. It's the one that comes standard with the
that would
the
be
Nikon.
The Nikon. Yeah, the best thing I would recommend before going higher megapixel would be invest into a better lens. Something like it's a 2.8 or something that's going to catch more light. It's going to have a sharper image, more contrast. I would do that before going more megapixel. 24 megapixels quite well. But if it's a stock lens that comes with it, or a stock zoom lens with it, they usually are a slow lens. The optics aren't as good.